Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're interested in vocal technique, pick up my ebook called Becoming a Natural Singer, or if you want one-on-one help, book a lesson through my website or drop me an email, links in the description. So bridging late versus bridging early. I wanted to cover this topic for a while and kind of put it to rest. Certain vocal coaches out there will promote the idea or the narrative that bridging early is dangerous, and those bad vocal coaches telling you to do it, they're putting you in harm's way, and your chest voice is going to atrophy if you keep doing that. It is a way of promoting their own method over other coaches' methods, and it is a way of kind of exploiting people that don't really know much about how the voice works into giving them money, quite frankly. So we're going to kind of just tear it to bits, just the whole concept in general of bridging late versus bridging early, and how there really isn't any such thing as bridging late or bridging early. There are two things happening as we go up and down in range. The resonance is shifting. We experience a shift in resonance from chest towards head. We feel more resonance here in head, more resonance here in chest. And that is the focus of bridging late versus bridging early, is where is the resonance sitting? Where do we experience the vibrations in the sound? The problem is, though, is any vocal coach getting you to focus on that stuff is getting you to focus on the wrong thing. They're getting you to focus on the wrong part of technique, or it isn't really even technique. The resonance is just a result of what the vocal mechanism is doing. So they're saying to you, imagine if I've got a guitar and we can hear the sound and we can feel the resonance in the body, and in order to play the guitar, the teacher's saying to you, wow, look where that resonance is vibrating. Yeah, focus on that because that's going to help you get better at guitar. Yeah, that's how much sense what they're telling you is making. It's the same with the voice. It just sounds ridiculous with the guitar so easily, yet we take it for granted when we listen to vocal coaches say, we're focusing on the resonance as we bridge. Doesn't make any sense. I don't focus on where the resonance is in my guitar when I'm playing high notes and low notes. And I don't say, okay, I want to get better at my technique and my guitar playing. I got to think about the resonance. Makes absolutely no sense. So the concept of bridging late and early relative to where the resonance is, it's sending you on a highway to nothing. It's getting you to focus on stuff that does not matter, stuff that is a consequence, stuff that is a result of what does matter. What are your vocal cords doing? How are they coordinating? What are the muscles attached to your folds doing? These are the questions that you need to be asking and focusing on, and allowing the resonance and the natural buzz that is a result of nice, efficient coordination, allowing that resonance to do what it's going to do and be and sit where it wants to sit when you've got the correct coordination. Now, if we look at bridging from the standpoint or from the focus of coordination and what we're actually doing, the concept of bridging itself just begins to fall apart so easily. And what I mean by that is this, is the vocal cords only do one thing. They shorten for lower pitches and they gradually stretch and lengthen for higher pitches. So we have the experience of the vocal cords lengthening and shortening. Now, the vocal cords lengthen the same amount regardless of if I am on a gentle coordination where the cords are connecting gently, or or a more weighted coordination where the cords are connecting more fully. My point being is the stretch of the vocal folds is universal. It doesn't matter whether I'm on a heavier coordination or a lighter coordination. The vocal cords lengthen, the vocal cords shorten. Now, moreover, they don't lengthen and shorten on three specific pitches, E, F, F sharp, or A, B flat B if you're a female. they don't just lengthen and shorten in those three pitches where we bridge and we experience the shift in resonance that I was talking about earlier. That is a consequence. The vocal cords stretch even from down low in chest, below middle C. Forget even about middle C. They stretch from even just to make that pitch adjustment, the vocal cords have to lengthen some. So where does this lengthening begin? It begins from my lowest pitch to my second lowest pitch. Even there I've got a slight lengthening. We've got very short folds to a little bit less short folds. It's just stretch. The chords lengthen and they shorten again. So if we take into account what the folds are doing, they're lengthening and shortening, and they're connecting to different amounts, either gently or more connected. The stretch is the same regardless. To get to this pitch, E, 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 E. It's the same amount of lengthening in the folds, whether I'm connecting with the weight or without the weight. Stretch is the same. So in that regard, in terms of what I'm doing, I can't bridge early or bridge late. It's not possible. I stretch the chords to the pitch and I connect them appropriately for the sound I want. That's it. That is what we need to be focusing on when we learn and develop our technique. That stuff. So any coach that's saying to you, oh, it's dangerous to bridge early, and listen to where your resonance is shifting, it's shifting too early, focus on that resonance, focus on that resonance. They're getting you to think about the wrong stuff. A coach that's saying to you, what are the chords doing? You connected a little bit heavy as you went up. You connected too gently, or the connection was inconsistent. Or, yeah, you're kind of there, but you're flat on the top. You're not getting enough stretch in the chords. How do we get that stretch? How do we get the feeling of how do we get that stretch feeling? How do we feel that and make it predictable? And how do we combine that with nice, even compression? And then after that, once we've got some decent coordination, we might want to think about, well, where does the resonance sit? What does it feel like in certain coordinations versus others? For sure, that's a legitimate conversation. But what is not a legitimate conversation is obsessing about resonance and where the resonance is in chest and head, and getting you to focus and isolate. Think about that. Think about the resonance. And you know, if you're bridging early, it's dangerous. If you're bridging late, it's dangerous. The chords stretch, the chords connect. That's all they're doing. So there is no bridge in that sense. You're either stretching the chords appropriately, or you're pulling chest and they're not stretching enough to get to that particular pitch. Or you're over compressing, or you're under compressing. Whatever it is, that is focusing on the right stuff. And when you're focusing on that stuff, you can connect the chords gently and go high. You can connect the chords medium or heavy and go high, as in stretch or shorten the chords. On any of those, as long as it's not going airy, and you understand that when you connect the chords on a light, gentle coordination, it's not airy, it's gentle, but it's here where there's no extra air coming through. It's not here where there's air. It's here where there's coordination, but there's no air coming through. Once you're in that spot, connect gently, connect heavy, stretch the chords, shorten the chords. It's all the same. If you find coaches who are pushing this idea and putting a lot of focus in it, either they are misunderstanding vocal technique and where is important and not important to focus, or they are exploiting your lack of knowledge and they are simply trying to promote themselves, either other coaches, by any means necessary. And keep in mind, we're in the Wild West here. There's no standards, there's no regulations, there's no certificate to say I'm a vocal coach versus he's not a vocal coach. It's the Wild West, guns blazing, shoot from the hip style is unfortunately the industry we're in when it comes to vocal coaching. So it's going to be up to you in the end to prune out the people that know who they're talking what they're talking about versus the people who don't. And some of you will get that correct, some of you will make the right assessment, and some of you will make the wrong assessment. And moreover, even if you pick the right coach, a talented coach, a good coach, you may not get everything from them. You may have problems that they haven't solved, and you may have to go to a few different places to get all of your questions answered. But a good coach should be able to answer at least some of the questions for you if you're a struggling singer. Anyway, guys, hope that's kind of cleared up some issues or some ideas there, and kind of put this concept of bridging early or bridging late to rest. You're not going to damage yourself singing on gentle coordinations. You're not going to atrophy your chest voice if you sing on light coordinations. In fact, quite the opposite. Here's the thing, the reason we focus on those light coordinations sometimes is that getting rid of the emphasis on closure helps us focus on the stretch part of the mechanism. It helps us get an understanding of what release feels like, what that stretch feels like, what it feels like to move up and down in range without having to pick up all that weight to do it. We do it on light. It's like, okay, I can feel the muscles moving, nice and easy. Now put the weight on, I go for the same motion with weight. So it helps give the voice context of where the next note is. If we're ever hitting the glass ceiling on heavy sounds and we don't know where the next note is, that is a sign we need to strip off the weight and understand. On a lighter coordination, where's the next pitch? We go to add the weight back in, and we find it more easily because we've got better context for that note. Anyway, hit me up in the comments, guys. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. I'll catch you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.